Daphna and 200,000 others like her have been displaced because of the war. Now several organizations, including the Tel Aviv Foundation, are helping with the war effort. And joining me now in studio is Dr. Hila Oren, CEO of the Tel Aviv Foundation. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
What have been some of the, before I say that, actually some 20,000 of those evacuees have been evacuated to Tel Aviv. Your organization, the Tel Aviv Foundation, has been helping with them. Tell me, what has been some of the biggest challenges they've faced, and how is the foundation helping alleviate them?
So to have 20,000, you know, like in a couple of days just coming into the city is a challenge. I think the most important thing that the mayor just said, the minute they came, they are becoming our residents. They are not just evacuees, they're not just visitors, they are residents. And since that moment, because they felt very welcome, they got all the support and the digital and whatever they need, it put them in a different place. Still, they're in hotels, they're out there, they're, even now, after you know, October 8th, there's still here, some of them felt different places. So to bring the people and to hug them and to give them the best things you can, this is something very important. At the same time, we have to remember that it's not an easy situation, and
these are families with young children that are now living in a hotel room. They don't have a large kitchen.
They can't even make themselves chavita, and you know, it's a big thing. And I think the youth, the ages like between 14 to 18, which is usually the teenager you know, term, which is not easy anywhere in the world, anytime, especially now. So we feel there's a special treatment we have to give them, and focus, of course, again, the municipality at all, but the foundation decided we're jumping into a national role. We're not anymore taking care only of Tel Aviv, what we do usually, but we have to look much broader.
And you mentioned those teenagers who are now no longer going to school. They're living out of these hotels. How has the municipality helped them, perhaps with filling in with that learning?
Sorry. So they are going to school. That's the good thing. They are going to school, but you have to fill out all the rest of the time, right? Yeah. So you've got outdoor programs, you've got surfing things, you've got different programs that you can give them, but still they go back to their hotel with their parents. They don't have their own room. They're looking outside. You can see them out on the promenade. It's not easy, and part of it is our residents hosting them and taking care of them and bringing them, you know, home to friendships with their kids. But it's a challenge. So if you see people out there, reach out.
Yeah, it's definitely, I'm sure, a challenge for them to keep up hope during these very, very difficult times. Unfortunately, hundreds of children have lost one parent and sometimes both on October 7th. And in response, the Tel Aviv Foundation has created the Orphans Fund. Tell me a little bit more about that work.
So I think, the Orphans is something that touches us, you know, it touches all of us in our hearts. And we're very lucky that the Israeli society took a very big responsibility. And we have some donors, very luckily from the Israeli society again, some from the high-tech industry. They asked to be, not to be acknowledged, which is even nicer, I think. They just want to give help, so they donated and gave very big gifts to this Orphans Fund. We have all over the country 500 orphans since October 7th.
It's an unimaginable number.
Exactly.
It's hard to even imagine it, really.
And some of the orphans are not even born yet. We know there are so many widows pregnant. So this is a very big issue. Very luckily, we're not the only organization dealing with orphans. So we have something like a coalition of 7 to 8 organizations now that are dealing with orphans and are trying to give them the best support. Again, Tel Aviv Foundation took a very big step forward and said, we're not dealing only with Tel Aviv. This is for orphans all over. And I think this is what it is for us to be now. We're not anymore only the lighthouse of Israel as a value, but we're a lighthouse in actions. We're doing things. We're stepping out. We're getting gifts. We're getting responsibility with our collaborators, with our supporters, and this is something that I'm very happy to share with the people. Whoever wants to join us on this specific support, it's great.
And I want to give a quick update to our viewers there now. An air raid sirens are reportedly sounding in the northern town of Metula near the Lebanese border. We don't have any more further details, but that just proves and shows to us what the real life situation that these evacuees are facing. They've lost their homes. They don't know when they'll be able to go back home. We're now speaking, originally was April, we're now speaking for at least the residents of the north, not until September. What are they supposed to do until then?
And we're shifting, right? And before we talked about the evacuees from the south, now we're talking more about the evacuees from the north. I go every Wednesday to Sderot. I help them on strategic support and strategic plans with the mayor there, with the top leadership of the municipality, which I have to give them big applause. They have such resilience. They are committed. You should see the way they come to work. Some of them are still evacuated in Eilat, in Jerusalem, in Netanya, in Tel Aviv, and still all the communities act as one municipality, although it's all over Israel. And we're getting ready for the day after, for the people to come back home, hopefully in a month or two, whatever it will be decided. What are they supposed to do? It's a big, big challenge, but I like to look at the full part of the cup. Resilient community. The Israeli society is so strong and is just giving hands wherever is needed. There's a lack of work from the government. We need some more work from the government. We need Tkuma to be focused on cities, not only Moshavim and Kibbutzim.
Yeah, more donations to those cities in the south, not just, as you mentioned, those Kibbutzim, as you mentioned.
Which is very important. Kibbutzim, we help Re'im, we help Netiv Asar, we help all of them. It's very, very important. But urbanism and cities have a whole different way of dealing with things than agriculture, urban places. So.
Absolutely. Dr. Hila Oren, thank you very much for joining us today in your very important work.